Hello Year 5 and welcome back to another history lesson. So the learning objective today is to understand the Romans worship many gods and goddesses. So I want you to write the date and the learning objective in your history book so you are ready, because we want you to take notes for today's lesson, ready for your main big task tomorrow. Roman gods. So the Romans had lots of gods. Many of their gods are the same as Greek gods, but they got slightly different names, and this makes things very confusing. We are going to look at 12 of the more popular Roman gods. And if they sound familiar, the following table might help you recognise the Greek gods of the same name. So the Greeks and the Romans have two different names for this goddess below. So one of them calls them Venus, or is it Aphrodite? So this is the comparison chart that I just mentioned. So the Romans called the god of time Saturn, but the Greeks call him Cronus. So just have a look at the table and see if you see anything familiar about some of the Roman names that they give to their gods and goddesses. I wonder what you can notice. Yes, so some of the names share a similar name with our solar system and the names of our planets. So actually, the planets were named after Roman gods. So we have Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune. Pluto used to be a planet but isn't now, it's a dwarf. Mars, Venus and Mercury. So yeah, we see a bit of comparison. Well done if you used your pearl power. Have a look at the table and see if you can spot any other similarities and differences. Did you know the French days of the week are mainly named after Roman gods? So the day Monday is named after the goddess of the moon, which is Lundi or Lune. And just have a look at the rest of the chart. And if you know French, these will show the comparison between the god name and the French name of the day of the week. Do you know what the English days are named after? So here's our god family tree. So here we have, just get my pen. So here we have Saturn and Ops at the top. These are the ones, the main gods, the ones that begun it all. Yeah. If you remember, Saturn was the god of time, so he's very important. And as it goes down, according to the children that these gods have. Yeah, so it starts with those two, and then it goes down according to what children each of the gods have. So in today's lesson, we're going to be focusing on these gods and goddesses. So these are the ones that, when I show you, you need to be taking notes and make a little bank of information using your bullet points to make sure your notes are clear. And just remember, you can use each name as a subheading. So you can put Saturn as your subheading and then do bullet points underneath, and the same with Jupiter, Juno, Neptune and Pluto. Okay? So here's Saturn. He is the god of time. He is the father of Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune, Juno, Ceres and Vesta. Yeah, so he has 6 children. Saturn was the first king of the gods. That's why he's at the top of the table that we saw earlier. When he died, the world was split between his 3 sons. So Neptune, he ruled the seas. Pluto ruled the underworld, and Jupiter, the skies and the heavens. So Saturn's weapon was a scythe, You can see he's holding it in his hand in the pictures. He is sometimes called Old Father Time. And Saturn's children, Jupiter, Neptune and Pluto, represent air, water and death, the three things that time itself cannot kill. So he used to be known as the god of agriculture or seed sowing, but the celebration of Saturnalia festival in December each year led to him being associated with time. The Saturnalia lasted 7 days and was kind of similar to our Christmas today. So this is Jupiter, king of the gods, god of the heavens. He is the son of Saturn, and his two brothers are Pluto and Neptune. He is married to a person called Juno, a goddess, who is also his sister. Jupiter was the most powerful god. He rode on a winged horse called Pegasus. I wonder if you've heard of that word before. And he carried thunderbolts as his weapons. He had an eagle as his messenger, and he had 12 gods as his special advisors. He had lots of children, and they all had special abilities or powers. Jupiter could shapeshift, which is another way to say make his body look like something else, like an animal, and he could throw his voice. Jupiter means Father Jove. So this is Juno. This is Queen of the Gods. She's married to Jupiter, her brother. She is mother of Mars, Nato, Juventus, and Vulcan. Juno was the beloved goddess of marriage, worshipped as a housewife, mother, and matron. Although Juno watched over all Roman women, her special concern was Roman married women. There was a festival every year on the 1st March to honour Juno. This is Neptune, and he is god of the seas. He has two brothers, Jupiter and Pluto. Neptune had deep blue eyes and green hair. His weapon was a trident which had 3 prongs, as you can see he's holding in the picture. He rode a dolphin or a horse, and he was very powerful. People were very scared of him. He had very bad moods, and this would affect the seas. Angry seas were dangerous, so people brought gifts to the temple to try and please him. Neptune was also god of earthquakes, known as the Earth Shaker. Pluto, god of the underworld. So the brothers are Jupiter and Neptune. So Pluto ran the underworld, and the underworld was where Romans believed your soul went when you died. If you were good, you'd go to a nice part of the underworld. However, if you were bad, then it wasn't very pleasant or nice. Pluto had a golden chariot. He had a helmet that would make you invisible, and he had a 3-headed dog called Cerberus. So hopefully you've managed to take some really good notes today, and make sure you have lots of information about each god or goddess. If you don't, if you feel like you don't have lots, then go back and have a look at one that you might need a bit more information on. However, if you have finished, here is a short video clip. It just shows how many gods and goddesses the Romans worshipped.